What's up guys, welcome back to another full-length Tackle to the People video. We're doing another foldable kayak send because you guys keep asking for it. We get a lot of action, so if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, drop a like for the algorithm, and comment below what you want to see next. But without further ado, let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy the video.
What is up guys, welcome back to another episode of Tackle to the People. Today we're doing another foldable kayak video. Weather's about 60-ish degrees or so, maybe about 55. Water temperature still pretty cold, but I really want to get on that bass bite. Try to figure it out. We only have about 3 hours before the sun sets, so not a whole lot of time where I got to figure out the bite, figure out the pattern, and get on the fish. So first place I'm going to set up shop is actually right around here. We're right at a point over here and it drops off to about 15 feet. So we have shallow dropping off to about 15. I'm just going to cast it out that way, just bring it back. Start off with a slow retrieve. The reason why I'm using a paddle tail is just so I can kind of both jig off the bottom if I need to, if it's a little slow, and also just cover a lot of water really quickly. Again, I don't have a whole lot of time today, so name of the game is finding out the pattern, finding where the fish are as quickly as possible. This jig head might be a little bit too heavy just for this cove here because it's pretty shallow. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just switch to this jackhammer here. Should be able to just cruise this baby in pretty shallow water without getting hung up. But yeah, there's a fish just like that. Just like that, guys. I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem very heavy. Of course, it's a pickerel. Chain pickerel, guys.
Alright, quick disclaimer, two things. Number one, there's some confusion between pike versus pickerel. People confuse this fish with a pike because it looks like a pike, but they're two completely different fish. Long story short, fish names are not standardized across the world. In most of Canada, they have northern pike, but chain pickerel are rare. So they use the word pickerel to refer to walleye. So I constantly get flamed by Canadian viewers for misidentifying fish. Secondly, why don't I enjoy catching pickerel? I actually enjoy catching pickerel in the wintertime. In the wintertime, they're some of the only fish that can consistently bite, but in the summertime you're trying to target largemouth, and some days you'll get like 7 pickerel and 1 largemouth. So no hate to this fish, but it's just not what I'm usually looking for. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Yeah, you guys already know what a chain pickerel looks like, so I'm not going to handle this guy. Back he goes. Again, we're looking for bass. I'll take a giant pickerel. But if we catch like a monster pickerel, I'll have no problem with that. That'd be great. Fun, super fun. But these little dime a dozen 12 to 16 inchers, no thank you. But you guys saw how quickly that adjustment produced some fruit? It's like I knew that there were fish here. There had to be, because the windblown side, bait. But I think that jig head was just too heavy. It kept hitting bottom. Kept hitting weeds, so we're just cruising this jackhammer through the weeds. Should be able to get some more fish here. Nope. That's weeds. This looks like about a foot of water, a little too shallow. Come on, there's got to be some other fish here in this cove here. This windblown cove looks way too juicy. Yeah, there's one. It's a perch. Guys, perch are super cool when they do this. Instead of flopping, they have both of their gill plates flared that has a point on it, and then that dorsal fin just flares like that. It's super cool. It's like he's in attack mode. So back he goes. Oh, there's something bigger. There's something bigger. I think it's a big pickerel, guys. Yep, it's a big pickerel. And it's not even that big. He just hit it hard. All right, well, it's good to know that we were right about the bait being blown here and the predatory fish being drawn here, but kind of want to catch some bass, guys. All right, take it easy. All right, just in case you guys aren't familiar, I'm pretty sure most of my viewers are from places where there are chain pickerel, but just in case you're not familiar, you've never seen one before, this is a chain pickerel. Looks a lot like a pike, but they're a lot smaller. They don't grow nearly as big. The pattern's slightly different too, but they're still just as toothy, just as slimy. Not fun to catch, just because oftentimes they'll bite off your bass lures. Like a pickerel maybe twice that size would have absolutely no problem just taking my entire jackhammer. So that's why they're typically not appreciated by many New England anglers. They're pretty easy to catch. I mean, if you've never caught one before, you just want to cross it off your Pokedex, then they behave just like pike. They love to chase lures. They like shiny stuff. I think I forgot to show off the lure. This is the chatterbait I'm using. It's the jackhammer. I forget what color it is, but it looks like it's green pumpkin with black specks. I always run trailerless when it comes to a jackhammer, just because if I'm gonna run something that's bladed and just like super huge profile, then I'm gonna use a spinnerbait. I use jackhammers primarily for small presentations, cruising slowly through the middle of the water column. I feel like that's where the jackhammer shines the most. I don't jig it. Again, you can, if you're looking to jig something, there are a million other lures that are better for that. They're especially made for that. If you're looking to just burn something, again, a million other lures that are better for that. But I feel like the jackhammer's ability to just kind of cruise through the middle of the water column with absolutely no problems, very, very, very slowly, that's the thing that makes this lure worth using. I think what's going on is a lot of baits just trapped in this little cove here. So just these fish are just kind of having a field day. These perch and pickerel. Don't know where the bass are. Clearly just not here, doing something else with their time. Oh man, I just got hit. I mean, right now for pickerel and perch, it's kind of automatic. I think like the last 4 times I've gone out, just like you can find the perch super quick, you can find the pickerel super quick. They're cold water fish, so this is kind of like their time to shine. You know, the bass aren't taking over yet, crappie aren't taking over yet. Perch and pickerel just kind of like ruling the cold water right now, which is great if you want to target them, but it'd be nice to get some. Oh, there's a fish. That's a big one. That's a bass. That's a nice bass. That's a nice freaking bass. Ah, not huge. Let's go, guys. That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish, guys. Completely smoked that jackhammer. Oh my gosh, look at that. Just when I was complaining about how there wasn't any bass in the area, this guy decides to show up. Nice fish. Has a weird claw mark on its tail. Almost like something tried to go for it. Thanks for playing. Anyway, I've always been a big proponent that when it comes to bass fishing, simplicity is key. I think there's like every single year there are all these like brand new bass lures coming out. I mean, do they work better than what's already out there? Hard to say, unless you did like a side-by-side comparison. But people have been catching bass off of stick baits and spooks and paddle tails for years. So I think to come up with a lure that's quote-unquote revolutionary is pretty difficult. However, I think the jackhammer is legitimately revolutionary. It is just the ability to just cruise through the mid-water column very, very slowly. I feel like you get that like almost like a suspending action just by straight retrieving. So phenomenal lure. I think it's worth every dollar. It's like 16 bucks compared to a regular chatterbait. So that's just my 2 cents. That's how I fish it. Ooh, something just followed me right up. Oh, it's still there. It's still there. I think it's a perch. There's a hit. There it is. That's a fish. This is a nicer one. No head shakes. Feels like a pickerel. Yep, it's a pickerel. Actually the biggest pickerel all day. But let's see if he pops off by himself. See, the reason why pickerel make me nervous is because this is a $16 lure and I do not want a 4-pounder to come by and just smoke it and just take everything. And I have caught a 4-pounder off of a jackhammer before successfully with no leader, and man, I was so close to getting bit off. Its teeth was like right at the knot, so that's why it's like you're kind of playing with fire if you try to fish pickerel infested waters with no leader. Definitely not as frequent as when we were closer to that cove over there. So let's just do this last float as the wind takes us in. See if there are any more fish hanging out. There it is. And it's another pickerel. Surprise, surprise. He's probably just as shocked as we are. He's not even fighting. Relax, relax, relax. There he goes. How's our braid holding up? Yeah, we're doing okay. No frays, no bites. That's a bluegill. That's a pretty big bluegill too. I felt the hit, set the hook, and thought nothing was there, but that's, I guess it's a bluegill. Oh, poor guy. I hooked him through the face pretty bad. That's actually a surprisingly large bluegill. There you have it. It's a fat little bluegill. Little dinner plate. So far so good on the jackhammer. I want to put a few more bass in this boat before we call it. I'm thinking about switching to like a spinnerbait, like a really big presentation. Just because so far, you know, we're doing good. Caught a bunch of pickerel, a bunch of perch, but nothing ginormous. I want like a 4, 5, 6 pound bass. That's what I want. Ooh, there's one. That's a better fish. That's a nice bass. That's a nice bass. Not as big as the last one, but not bad. Got him. Whew. There we go. Yeah, not a giant, not as big as the last one, but smoked the chatterbait. I'm actually just going to release this fish on this side, just in case it was bedding. It has an easier chance to get back to its bed. I don't think it was. I mean, I wasn't bed fishing. I was just retrieving, so I'm assuming that it came up and smoked it. There's also on the smaller side, so it's probably a male. All right, let's keep the jackhammer on standby, but I'm gonna tie on my big old spinnerbait. We'll keep up this trend, just targeting like shallows near drop-off areas. I don't have my double Colorado blade, but I do have this bleeding spinnerbait, which is also phenomenal. And and also a bigger presentation. So it's a booyah spinnerbait. It's got red and white. It's supposed to resemble like a bleeding fish. OGs of the channel remember this lure, because I came out and like crushed fish with it one day. So really good lure. It is getting cold. It sucks because the days are like, they peak like 60 degrees, but then the nights, they're like still 40 degrees. Alright guys, spinnerbait hasn't really produced much of anything for us, so I'm going to change lures one last time. And if we don't catch anything with this last lure, then we're just going to call it, but I'm going to just pretty much jig at the drop off for whatever's there. There's a spot up ahead, a drop off up ahead that you can pretty consistently catch fish there through jigging. So I'm gonna throw on a bigger jig. This is the Slam Shady again, but I have it on a BKK. I think that's 1/2 ounce or 3/8 ounce. So pretty heavy. Just because I want to just bounce it off the bottom as quickly as possible, get the attention of whatever's there. Ooh, there's a hit. I think I'm on. Yeah, fish on. It's a bigger fish, whatever it is. I think it's a bass. It thumped me right on the bottom. Oh, it's a bigger fish. Yeah, that's a nice bass. That's a nice bass. Thumped me right on the bottom. It's a really nice bass. Oh yeah, that's the biggest bass of the day. Oh my gosh. I think it's like a 4-pounder. Yeah, that is a thick fish. Oh my gosh, guys. Look at that. That is a stud. 4 pounds, probably. Right on the fall. Really pretty fish. Let's send this guy home. Yep, she kicking. There she goes. All right, guys. Well, that was a great way to end today's video. Super satisfied with how today turned out. I mean, we pretty much checked off all the boxes. Caught 4 species of fish: perch, pickerel, bluegill, bass. It'd be cool if we caught 5 crappie, but whatever. I'm just really happy that we ended up figuring out that bass bite.